Okay, now this is on here. Is it on the website? Nope. Why? I don't understand. Now the website is not working. Man, I wish I'd fucking messed with this backend stuff enough to know, like, how to force the website to refresh itself. No, that's not fucking it. This is super annoying. I guess I can go to the live stream window and see if that makes a difference. Okay, get rid of this. Why the fuck is this on here? Make it go away. Delete. Duh. Thank you. Okay. Now will it work correctly? Okay, now I got it working correctly. Cool, now I'm gonna let everybody know in Discord that we're back. I did I reset my computer, Vyron. I turned the whole computer off and back on again, which is part of why it took me so long, because my computer, because of the RAM settings, it takes like literally 5 minutes to boot up. It's crazy. Okay. All right. I'm happy now. We did it. I'm so sorry, everybody. I know that that's really frustrating. If you think it's frustrating for you, trust, it's at least as frustrating for me. But now that we're all set and ready to go, click the like button on the YouTube page. It's going to be an extra short stream today because I planned on calling it quits at 4 p.m. And so now it's going to only be an hour and a half long stream instead of my original intention of a 2-hour stream. But that's okay. I've made a couple of changes. You can see now that the chest is right there. Obviously, it's still kind of hidden behind chat, and this is still all kind of like, maybe I should make this a little bit less opaque. Maybe it's a little bit darker than it needs to be, perhaps, but that's the chest, the treasure chest. If we get any donations today, which I would understand if we didn't, because the scuffed is hell beginning to the show. Okay, where's chat? Are you there? Chat, can you hear me? I don't know what the next words are to that. But anyway, hi everybody in the YouTube chat. Banana Brains, Dally Greaser, Starfox, 10K Reasons, Nikki Star. Thanks for your patience getting figured out today. New person on the website today. Hello. I have double Luxanders. True. What's up, Psychoplebe Alien, Mountain Eucalyptus, Ivanov, Viren. Welcome, welcome. Okay. That's true. The chest is there. Yeah, so today I think this might actually be Shein. Like, it was at the thrift store. I just bought, it's a crop top from the thrift store, you know? And I think today what I have going on is a little bit of like a, whoop. Hold on. Okay. It's like a little bit of like a slutty secretary thing going on with the crop top and the skirt. The skirt is so cool because it's really short in the front and then it's really long in the back. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I want to layer some leggings underneath it to do like a, I mean, this is me building my way toward a forest witch kind of look. And it's a cute little outfit. I got my glasses, I got my hair down. So kind of just feels like slutty secretary moment. Anyway, there's 25 people in here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We've only got an hour and a half today to spend together, but we're going to enjoy it. If you haven't hit the like button, please consider doing that. It immediately helps YouTube and the algorithm, and it says, yay, show this to more people. So we appreciate it. Whatever I put in the chest, the treasure chest for the donations, when we get to $100 in donations, the treasure chest has the same thing in it that there was last time, which, if you recall, was something that old fans would know of and appreciate, and new fans would probably appreciate too. I want that skirt and make it witchy goth. Yes, exactly, exactly. So, honestly, I was like, how do I make this top more more like witchy and stuff. And I was just like, well, whatever. We'll keep it kind of simple today with a full moon necklace. But yeah, I'm excited to continue. I really wanted to go to the thrift store again today, but I didn't. I'm thinking about maybe going tomorrow actually. But maybe a different thrift store because there's not going to be enough new stuff. Although I guess I could have looked at more like bottoms. I mostly looked at tops the last time I was there. Is Lazy Man in the YouTube chat requesting services that I could provide on my Fansly where I get paid? Frog Sprog, hello! I want to go through my goth girl phase while medically transitioning. I mean, you can. That reminds me of Ashton Daniel, who I just saw posting for the first time in a long while on YouTube again. Do y'all remember Ashton Daniel? I'm kind of friends with them, or I was kind of friends with them. They're like a transmasculine, non-binary goth YouTuber, and a lot of their videos are like them talking about something while putting on makeup, so they kind of like see the goth look come together. Yeah, and they just recently stopped taking testosterone. I haven't watched this video. I think I clicked into it, but I didn't actually watch it. And obviously that's interesting to me as a transmasculine person who's been on and off testosterone. So yeah, if you want some transmasculine goth inspo, Ashton Daniel is posting again. I guess they've been posting the whole time. I just missed it. There was like one video 6 months ago that I just didn't see at all. Okay. But yes. 26 viewers, 15 likes. Y'all can pump those numbers up. I know you can pump them numbers up. So, oh my gosh. Part of the reason why I was like, let's have a shorter stream today is because I was like, I don't even have that much stuff to talk about this week. Although yesterday I was on the line and that spurred a conversation about its pronouns, which I made the poll for this week. I don't know if you guys know about this already. If you're here probably right now, then you're a hardcore fan, so you do know. But I have been recently posting polls, usually in conjunction with me being live. And it's supposed to like attract attention. So today's poll, because of the its pronouns thing being kind of on the mind, I put, what do you think about its pronouns? You can choose cool, smiley face, bad, sad face, I don't care, or reclamation is a nuanced and ongoing process. So feel free to, I really enjoy doing this. Like the first 3 answers are a straightforward answer to the question, and then the 4th one is like overly correct or like overly nuanced. I don't know. It's just, it feels like throwing a wrench in what is otherwise like a more silly and straightforward premise. Literally was listening to Lux and Jimmy before this. I saw that video on my timeline. Yeah. So we're trying new things with the line. Y'all already know that I go live on Thursdays, a lot of Thursdays, but not every Thursday, with the Transatlantic Call-In Show, where we take callers who are transphobic or who are trans and need advice or whatever. Lots of different people. And we have all these other shows, and we're expanding right now. And so what we're trying to do is, currently all of our content is in the horizontal style. So it's like my desktop computer widescreen setup, versus there's this whole new thing that we haven't really been tapping into yet, but other creators who we collaborate with have been tapping into, which is the shorts feed or the vertical format. So we have this new show, Calling It Now, where we are trying to get on the shorts feed and try to catch a new audience that way, like a mobile audience or a shorts consuming audience. So yeah, we're trying new stuff. And consequently, that means we're going to get more people in. And frankly, like, we are deliberately trying to get conservatives to watch our content, because we are actually trying to be a persuasive force if possible. So that means we want people who are transphobic to come in and have their minds changed. We want people who are religious to come in and have their minds changed. We want people who support MAGA to come in and talk to us and potentially change their minds. So because of that, we had that little kerfuffle about, like, it has long been the policy of the line that we usually don't let callers use its pronouns. We are lax with that policy somewhat on Transatlantic Call-In Show because it's a trans-oriented show and because we can pretty well tell who is using them in good faith versus in bad faith. But it's like Jimmy feels pretty strongly that if we allow callers to use its pronouns, that would be an invitation to a threat to safety for trans people in our audience and would normalize transphobia to a broader audience in a way that I think he is worried about genuinely people getting hurt. So it just came up last night that, you know, it's our policy. We don't let callers use its pronouns. Again, like, we're kind of skirting the rules on TACUS a little bit by letting people use its pronouns when they call in. But yeah, I don't know. It sparked an interesting conversation in the Discord, and I appreciate everybody's comments on it. I know that it's a difficult area to navigate as trans people and, like, on a larger platform, and, like, what does it mean to be responsible with that platform? I am not disallowed from advocating for its pronouns or anything. I am allowed to use its pronouns. Like, that's not the issue. It's just that we don't allow callers to self-identify with its pronouns, especially on these bigger, broader shows where we are literally trying to get transphobes in. I always turn off the chats on the short style streams for obvious reasons. Yeah, it covers up, like, the entire bottom third of the screen. It's so funny. I treated myself to my favorite tea company's Chai Month sampler for the first time. Oh my god, that would be amazing. I want an advent calendar that's tea. Because I love tea, and I love the variety especially. Like, that's what really is so desirable to me about tea, is the fact that I have so many different ones that I could choose from. I'm not drinking the same tea every day. Actually, today I went with decaf coffee for the first time in, like, a month or two. Was craving coffee, went with that. Matt handled it well on the hang up, I think. I missed it. What is there some specific incident of talking about its pronouns or something? Or when do they go live on the hang up? Is it 4 p.m. on a Wednesday? They go live on the hang up? Or wait, yeah, the hang up is today. I guess I just missed whatever it was that y'all were talking about. Do they have tea advent calendars? Because that is fire. I would love that. That would be delicious. Oh, while you were on. Okay, cool, yeah. Yeah, like, again, I think that people were confused about that because Jimmy was like, here are some reasons why I do not like people using its pronouns in this space, and people in the chat were confused because they thought that, like, I'm not allowed to use its pronouns, and it's like, no, that's not it. It's our policy with callers. I love its, but it doesn't really work in my native language, so I can really only use it online. True, and, like, most people who use its pronouns are using them online anyway, and, like, most of us also are okay with people using they, them, or with using a different set of neo-pronouns. So, yeah, just some trans stuff. Speaking of the line and TACUS, people seem to really not grasp the idea that I get paid to argue with people on TACUS, and I do not get paid to argue with you in my comments section. So lately, in the past, I will just delete transphobic comments and block them from the channel forever. I'm just like, goodbye forever. It doesn't make any difference to me. But more recently, I have been, like, to a certain point, if people say something transphobic on my comments, I just say, like, call us on the line. Like, call us Thursday on Q&A line. And so far, I don't think anybody from my comments section has ever followed up and called the line. At least not when I was on there. Maybe they called on a day where it was, like, Josie and Arden and not me. But yeah, I find it really interesting. And I end up in these back and forths because, again, y'all are leaving comments. And if I comment back, that's more engagement. It's just engagement on engagement. So somebody commented earlier, like, oh, women's rights matter more than the feelings of a delusional man who dresses in drag, blah, 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 whatever. And I just said, call us Thursday at Q&A line. And they're like, I don't even know what that means. What phone number, what time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, here's the info, call. Here's the link. I'm going to give you a link directly. I'm not on this week, but I will be next week. And then they say, unfortunately, I'm not available at that time. And then they launch into like multiple paragraphs that they must have spent. Like, I'm just going to show it to you really quick. That's how long their comment is. And I basically just was like, I love how you spent 10 minutes reading that comment or typing that comment that I'm not going to read. My job is to engage with this kind of transphobia on the line, and I don't do it here. But thanks for your enjoyment. Or sorry, for your engagement. And then they were like, oh, I got it. So that's a no. You don't have any justification, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't read the rest of it. And I was like, I'm like, yeah, it was a no. I'm not going to waste my unpaid time reading anything you said for sure. And like, so these people seem to just really have an insane entitlement to demand on my time. And that if I refuse to engage with them, I mean, it's not even refusing to engage with them. I'm saying, call me and speak to me directly. Like, I want to speak to you directly. And they always pussy out. It's crazy how often they're just like, well, whatever, you're the one who refuses to engage. I'm like, no. I told you where and when I will engage. So I stuttered. I have told you where and when I'm willing to engage. And they are just like, nope, I want to sit here and waste your time in the comments. Like, nope, that's not going to happen. I get paid to be on the line. I get super chats when I get annoyed and start yelling at you, and I'm not fucking dealing with it. But like, thanks for leaving me a essay length comment that helps the algorithm and which I am not obligated to read. So sometimes I'll go back and forth with people like this until and unless they say something like really overtly gross or really overtly shitty. Like, some of the times I'll let this stuff stand just because it's like, it's engagement, and also it's a demonstration of the fact that these people are not actually capable of like much intelligent thought, and they are not able to rise to the occasion when I give them a platform to come debate me. Always keyboard warriors, but too cowardice to commit. Yeah, right, yeah. Not enough people get checked IRL for being losers online. Fucking true. But I don't know. I feel like people are deceptive. These kind of folks who will overtly be transphobic in my comments will typically keep their mouths shut in person. Giving them a time and place to engage is way more generous than most streamers / YouTubers. Yeah. I mean, it's not really that generous of me, if we're being honest, because what I'm saying is I will only engage with you if it's on a platform where I am able to control the conversation entirely and where I am getting actively paid to be there. So it's really just me trying to drive transphobic traffic over to the line because we have too many calls of people who agree with us. That's me. That's my opinion. I wish we had at least half of the calls every time from spicy people, but we don't most of the time have, like, a lot of the time lately, I feel like we are only getting one or maybe two spicy callers in a given show, and it goes for 2 or 3 hours. So it's just, I don't know. Is that how it works? If I just set a date for my defense that my committee can't attend, do I just automatically pass because they couldn't argue against it? Yeah, I guess like... yeah, I guess like what I was trying to say is not necessarily that they're incapable of defending their ideas, because they're doing that in the chat. Like they're spewing their transphobia or whatever. but like I'm just not willing to engage here. And like when I said earlier, like what they're proving is that they can't say anything intelligent because it's just like a bunch of transphobic bullshit, basically. So, you know, fair call out. Yeah, I might try to find a tea advent calendar for Christmas this year. Christmas, oh my god, it's too early to be thinking about Christmas. I'm so excited because places near where I live are getting into the fall spirit. I don't know if I already mentioned this on a previous stream. I think I did because I'm like, oh yeah, I moved to the right place because like businesses and people here being already in the mode for spooky time and it's August. I'm like, bet if Christmas is going to continue to encroach earlier in the year, then I say let's expand spooky time too. Oh, I mean, it's silly for a person to go into you can't argue against it in response to being given a time that works for actually arguing. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, totally. Yeah, for this guy to be like, oh, I see you don't have any justification for this. Like, no, I said, here's a time and place that you can come talk to me, but it's not going to be here and it's not going to be now. And they're like, yeah. So, yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Like, whatever. Okay. Not going to waste my time. Where was the comment? It was on, frankly, it was on one of my old videos. Thoughts on trans trenders, which is a reaction to a ContraPoints video. And the username is at ZachMan5150. Like, I don't give a fuck if people go comment on it. I do find it kind of annoying sometimes if I'm actively in the middle of it with someone and then people in the comments start responding too, because there's, I think, like a misogyny thing that comes in here, or maybe it's just I can't actually respond to anything you're saying, so I'm going to ignore you. But I have noticed many times when I am in the middle of arguing with someone online, usually in text format, and other people start commenting, the person who I am arguing with will stop responding to me and will only respond to the other people. So I do find that shit kind of annoying. It's almost September and they start selling Christmas stuff here by mid-September at the latest. Yeah. Yeah, totally. But I'm like, it was like early to mid-August the first time I saw something about like pumpkin spice. Thought it might have been one of the regular chirpers from the line comments. No. Yeah, and that's an interesting question too, where my channel is like consistently growing right now, which is wonderful. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but channel's consistently growing, and some of that is definitely going to end up being transphobic traffic from the line, but also pro-trans traffic from the line, so I don't really get bothered that much by hate comments. I just delete them, so it's not a big deal, but I've seen a couple Halloween decorations up lately. It's not usually this early in the year, unless it's like large lawn decorations that might stay up all year anyways. Yeah. I drove past a business the other day that had a giant blow up spider on the outside of the building. I was like, bro, that's fucking lit. I saw pumpkin spice stuff this morning. Yes. I'm ready for it. Although, I will say, I am still going to observe the Mabon festival, but like that's a pagan thing. So I'm like, definitely one more regular harvest festival before I start switching to Halloween decor. Just one more. You get the autumn equinox, which is in like a month from now or something like that. We just had Lunasa, and yeah, about a month from now we'll have the equinox. Yeah, the encroachment of Halloween. I do love the idea that spooky season just starts in June with Pride, and then it goes through October. Like, we're just claiming the entire summer. Summer is for the goths now. I'm like gesticulating with my hair stick. Hopefully I do not accidentally stab myself in the eyeball. 37 likes right now. Or sorry, 37 viewers right now. 27 likes. If you're just coming in, please consider hitting the like button. It's quick, it's easy, it's free. If you want to actually support the show financially, Of course, there is the option to super chat, but you can also direct donate on my website, and YouTube doesn't take 40% of your money. Those are always appreciated. If we get to $100 in about the next hour, I'm only going until 4 p.m. So if we get that amount in the next hour, I'll open the chest, which is over here. You know what? I'm going to see if I can fix the chat. I want to make sure you can actually see this guy over here. Can I turn on the... Can I make the... No, the light is as bright as it gets over there. None of this feels right in the middle of the desert. It's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, very close to Halloween, and 90s until like Thanksgiving. Sure, I will say of course, the seasonality of the holidays that I observe is heavily influenced by being in the northern hemisphere. So, like, and like, Europe is further north than we are here in the United States. So, like, it's super duper Europe oriented, really. Quantum Chaos, hello! Welcome in. We were just talking about the line and all that. I've been told recently that I'm too old to be goth. Get out of here, I'm not even 40 yet. I hate when people try to police style by age. Like, how about I'm gonna dress cute and you can shut up about it? I'm a relapsed goth. Halloween is every day for me in my heart, at least. Yeah. I'm forging ahead with my goth forest witch aesthetic. With a dash of park ranger. Just kind of a pinch of park ranger popped in there. I am trying to open Photoshop. Photoshop! Just gonna dick around with this for a second. Let's see what else is going on. Oh man, I have a PSA for you all. I have a message, which is that if you are going to do oral sex on someone with a vulva, if you use a real minty toothpaste, you might not want to brush your teeth literally immediately before engaging in the oral sex, because your partner will end up with a menthol pussy situation, which is not ideal. So that's just a little hot tip from me to you. Take that as you will, you know. Take it with a little grain of salt, but know that that comes from personal experience. Okay, I am just trying to update this real quick to make the chat a little bit, or sorry, to make the chest a little bit easier to see in the background here. Okay. Now you've still got your gradient, but now you can see the chest a little bit better. There's the chest! Ooh, tickle tickle! Alright, good stuff. Menthol pussy is a brand new combination of words never before uttered by mankind. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for that little PSA. I learned through experience so that you don't have to. Indeed. That's very... It sounds logical. Indeed. Dahlia says, I think I'm gonna grab a giant mug from your store for my birthday. I love mugs and have eyed it for a bit. I finally have some extra in the budget. Hell yeah. Okay, so as someone who is considering buying merch right now, do you think I should keep the merch as it is with the green splash on it? Or since I'm no longer using that as my brand icon, should I switch to just the symbol without the green splash on the back? Some people learn the hard way, I guess. Yeah. My partner was like, oh, I thought I rinsed my mouth out well enough. And I was like, no, you did not. I feel like Menthol Pussy would be a good name for an all-femme punk band. Yeah, that could be cool. What else have I got going on? I've had like, since I saw you guys on Sunday, the only thing I've done for the last couple days is like have appearances that I didn't plan on having. Or like, we recorded the podcast episode and I knew I was going to be doing that, but still it is like a chunk of my day in the morning, and I didn't get as much done in the afternoon as I wanted to. And then yesterday, oh my god, okay, we're getting the runaround with my younger sibling changing their name, and like, you know, you bounce back and forth between the DMV and the SSA office, and like, it's just a bunch of fucking stupid shit right now. So I ran around a bunch yesterday working on that, and then I did the show with Jimmy, so yesterday was like just a very busy day. And then I still cooked dinner. Nikki, they, she, hello! What's up? If y'all are just coming in, hit the like button. It's quick, it's easy, it's free. Consider a $5 donation at luxander.net/donate, but don't worry about it if you can't afford it. Oh, Fuzzy Logic says, one of my first partners was a vulva haver who really liked receiving oral with sugar-free Altoids in my mouth. The sugar-free part is important to avoid infections. Fair. That is an interesting, like, so for having experienced it, I don't get it, but I respect that everybody's got a different thing going on. So I prefer the green splash. That may just be me and my personal bias on color combos. All right, fair enough. So I just don't have as much to talk about as I usually would because there's just not that much going on. But yeah, I'm like, what? I'm really struggling to finish the Mulan video, and I keep making promises about when it's going to be done. And I think what we're learning is, like, don't do scripted videos. I gotta only do, like, loose outlines instead of actually scripting. But I'm already this deep into it, so I have to finish the script and then record the video. I don't know when the fuck it's gonna happen. I wanted to not stream today, partially because I did just do, like, this is my 4th day in a row of doing public appearances or being on a recording or anything. And I really wanted to just not stream today so that I could focus on that. And I was like, whatever, I'll just do a short stream. We'll keep it consistent. But I'm gonna have to really focus up and get that shit done. And then probably there's gonna be a real off-the-cuff True Blood video where I talk about True Blood being good, actually, and, like, talk about the metaphors and shit. Because the entire show is a metaphor for gay rights. Do the states not have a centralized spot for government services? I go to Service Ontario for anything provincial government and Service Canada for anything federal. They're next door to each other. Okay, so here's a fun thing. So my younger sibling has a social security number, and they have primarily existed in the state of Missouri. So I was under the impression, I was like, okay, I know your ID is expired because we got them a learner's permit and they only go for 1 year. So maybe we should have just done this earlier this year, whatever. But I was like, I don't know if you'll be able to use your ID as it is at the SSA office. So why don't we, or hold on. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I'm not sure which direction this goes. So what we tried to do is I was like, let's go to the DMV and see if you can get it updated there first. But they were basically like, you're not in the system, or maybe it's like the change needed to be logged in the system with the SSA office. So we went to the SSA office, but they can't use their ID because it's expired. And then we went to the DMV and we got them the new printed out one, and the SSA office won't accept that because why? Because fucking why? It's literally a legal ID. As soon as you have the paper copy or the receipt copy or whatever, it's a legal ID, but they won't fucking accept it at the SSA office. So then it's like, okay, now we have to wait 3 weeks or however long it takes to get their hard copy. So we had to go get them a state ID under their dead name And then we're going to change the name with the SSA office and then go back to the DMV and have to pay for a new state ID with their actual name on it. It's just so fucking stupid. It's like I feel like they yank you around on purpose with just like a bunch. So like a hard copy state ID that's just expired for a month, not acceptable. A brand new paper copy on the official letterhead and everything of ODOT, like, nope, not sufficient. Like, okay, fucking kill yourselves, pieces of shit. I really am filled with loathing in a way that I am never ever filled with loathing when I'm dealing with bureaucratic government bullshit. Like, I fucking hate it. It is genuinely like, I like want to bash my own head into a brick wall. It's insane. All the name / gender marker change stuff from my kid is one stop at one office and then one stop at another office. Yeah. And like, this is even like now living in a blue state, which I have said, like, it is so much more efficient here. The DMV is so much more efficient here. And like the fact that you don't have to separately go to the treasurer's office in order to get your registration done and things like this, like, it's better. But anytime the federal is involved, it's a bunch of stupid fucking bullshit for no reason. For no reason. And they came in to update their name, and the person said, like, oh, it might be a 3 or 4 hour wait. Like, what are you talking about, a 3 or 4 hour wait for something that takes 5 seconds? Crazy. Agnes says, I have also been doing daily appearances for 2 weeks straight now. Council meetings, speeches, organizing, Zoom meetings, all political stuff. Oh, God, that's got to be so exhausting. The SSA is super picky about what counts as a valid ID. It's bullshit. Also, there's way too many offices for specific services. Yeah, services, yeah. Technical difficulties with some fun spellings would be an awesome drag name, perhaps. I wonder, would like... So a phrase that I said earlier was menthol pussy. Menthol pussy could be an interesting drag name. It's not like a pun, though, and I really do kind of feel strongly that drag names should be puns. The system isn't designed to work for the people. Yeah, it seems like it's not designed to work for anyone. It's like the people who are working there are clearly having a bad time. I'm having a bad time. Wonderful. Don't forget to drink water, everybody. That's the shit that's the banality of evil. Bureaucracy and red tape are the best way to dehumanize and disenfranchise people without actually having to change laws. Totally. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Rhonda Santis is one of my favorite names. Rhonda Santis. That is a good drag name. Appreciate the cleverness of that. Okay, I don't need Creative Cloud open anymore. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Is our democracy falling apart? Like, yet? Like, has it fallen apart yet? Is it finished? What I'm asking this flippantly, but I'm just like, is there any news that we should talk about today? I don't know if there's anything specific that has occurred. I'm just scrolling real quick to see if there's any hot new goss. I have a fun punk band name, but I call dibs on that. The Terror T-Slurs. I'm a trans femme. I'm allowed to do that. I see. The Terror, you're saying the Terror Trannies. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cute. I like that. As a little punk band name. It's good. Don't need this tab open anymore. Oh my god. Did Hillary Clinton actually say? I just saw something that claimed that Hillary Clinton said that if you're gay, you should get married now, but like while you still can. Did she actually say that? Trump admin bans coverage for trans government employees. Aaron in the morning. Yeah, I did see that. You're good. You're good. Banana brains. I did see that. So yeah, what's going on is that they're basically saying the healthcare coverage for transgender government employees will not cover gender affirming care, and there's about 14,000 trans people working for the government. So that's like 14,000. Can you imagine having like a stable government job and then having to quit and get a job at someplace like Starbucks because the president has just arbitrarily decided that your scientifically proven healthcare is like not good? I don't know. So fucking stupid. Trump's brain continues to leak out of his ears, but that's pretty much Orange Man bad shit. Listen, if they harped on Biden's stutter for 4 years, I think we can, talk about Trump and his mistakes and how old he is and the weird shit that he says. He was on Fox and Friends or something, and he was like talking about hoping he was going to get into heaven. And he also spilled the beans on some news anchor fucking Sean Hannity. Like, I just played a gig and another band that played was called Lavender Scare. Timely. Timely. And I see people are talking about fucking Gavin Newsom more. Some folks seem very confident that Newsom is going to be the Democratic nominee. And I've seen some other people being like, whatever, he's going to be like a 6th place in the primary kind of thing. Like, I don't actually know. I feel like there aren't very many popular Democrats. Like, Tim Walz, I guess I just kind of felt like he came out of nowhere. So, and like, if they had proposed someone other than Kamala Harris, I imagine that it would be someone who, like, I just haven't heard of. So, I don't know. It feels like the Democrats are so unpopular, and now Newsom is getting coverage, but it's like Newsom is getting coverage by Fox News. Because they're like making fun of his tweets, and meanwhile he's literally styling his tweets off of Donald Trump's posts. Hillary Clinton's quote from a day ago: "Anybody in a committed relationship out there in the LGBTQ community, you ought to consider getting married, because I don't think they'll undo existing marriages, but I fear they will undo the national right," she said. Yes. Okay, cool. So she did actually say that. As of right now, I'm not voting in the generals. Honestly, I think even if it's fucking Newsom, I'm gonna vote for him because, like, I moved to Oregon with this very specific premise in mind, which was that I am going to bring 3 Democratic-leaning voters, like 3 blue progressive voters, to a state that is sometimes at risk of going kind of purple. So, as awful as it makes me feel, I am going to probably vote for Gavin Newsom. Not in the primary, to be clear. Not voting for his ass in the primary, but if he gets the nomination, then I'll probably fucking vote for him. I hope that they at least VP Tim Walz or like Pritzker or something. Like, at least VP someone who I actually like. Banana Brains predicts that we're going to see a repeat of the Hillary Biden-Kamala thing, where the Democratic establishment basically circle jerks a single candidate and outcasts everyone else, but with Newsom as their choice. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna vote for him, but only because, like, we could die? I mean, we're still gonna die, probably, but still. Tim Walz is a cool progressive, but he definitely falls short, and I hate Gavin Newsom. I hate him with a passion. It's goddamn centrist politics. He'd fuck us over, and prevent us from actually changing shit. Yeah. I really do understand lots of trans people feeling like they're being pressured to vote for someone under whom they will continue losing rights. And, like, how difficult that is for us to have to be like, Like, what is the point of voting for a guy if things are just gonna, if like for us personally, things are just gonna continue to get worse? And like when people say, well, we have to make compromises, they don't mean they have to make compromises. Whoever is telling you, a trans person, that you have to make a compromise by voting for Gavin Newsom, they're saying you have to compromise. They're saying you have to tolerate having your rights taken away in order for them to be maximally comfortable, because they ultimately don't give a shit about whether we are okay or comfortable. I think Pritzker is the best setup person to go against Newsom, win, and then take on the Republicans. I really, really think Pritzker would be the choice, but we'll fucking see. I'm registered, not a member of a party. Unfortunately, Oregon doesn't have open primaries. Oh shit, well, I'm not registered as a member of a party either. So I guess maybe I can't vote in the primaries. Should I vote should I join the Democratic Party officially in order to vote in their fucking primary? Like, I don't know if it'll make a difference, but I feel like at least from within a blue state, I can try to make a difference, and it will mean something where it didn't mean anything in Kansas. Pritzker is rich enough to do well in the primaries as an establishment type of guy, but left of center enough to rally a base around him. Yeah, the very fact that he gives talks at the HRC and talks about trans rights, I think, like, positions him as just left of center enough for us to, you know, we could pull him further left on things, I believe. And yeah, this is all assuming that there's even going to be a fair election. I moved to Germany 10 or so years ago because it's better for trans folks here. And now the new government wants to install a national registry for anyone who's ever changed their name and gender. I hate it here, but Poland is even worse. True. You can go to France. France is supposed to be good. And, like, I know that there is a far-right party that is gaining influence in France, but the mere fact that the way that the French pass laws is that they have to be rigorously tested for constitutionality before they pass, rather than the way that we do it here, which is we pass a law and then we determine whether it's constitutional after it has been challenged by someone whose rights have been infringed, and then it has to go through the courts for years. No. They just ascertain whether a law is in line with the Constitution before it even passes in France. So I will say that it seems like they have some more protections, and if power does go to the far-right party, France will burn down. Because they'll burn it down, like the people will. So that is the power that they have in France, is that they protest hard. The DNC have screwed us out of an actual primary 2 cycles in a row. Yeah, like they kind of pretended to have primaries for Biden, right? But just didn't. And then, yeah, there was basically no primary they just were like, Kamala's the one running. Participation in democracy can't hurt. Yeah, I guess I was a little bit concerned about being a registered member of the Democratic Party, but I can. I'll update it online. I'll go ahead and update it so that I can vote in the primary. And I'll talk to my partner about doing it too. It's like, yeah, I know that you consider yourself unaffiliated. Actually, I think my partner selected independent, because in Kansas, independent basically meant unaffiliated, but now independent is a specific party. So I might have to tell him to change it. Uncomfy, hello. I've considered joining the Dems for access to primaries. By this point, I think it's the only reasonable choice. Fair enough, yes. And I'm considering joining the local DSA. Like, I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous about being politically active as a trans person, and I don't even know how much I want to participate. Like, what does the DSA do? Like, do they have protests? Because I don't want to show up to protests. Like, what are they actually doing that requires me to join their group? I just want to meet people, really, and I think I can meet people elsewise. We need a democratic socialist to actually fix this country. Are we going to get that? No. This country may never be actually decent for minorities without another revolution, and I'm not looking to cause bloodshed. That's fair, Gay Asparagus. And I think that we won't have to try to do a revolution. I think that the system is just going to deteriorate. But later, Quantum Chaos, we are actually going to stop in 45 minutes. It's going to be a short stream today, so it's possible we will not be on by the time you get back, but please have a good rest of your day. Don't forget to like. Quantum Chaos says don't forget to hit the like. Zoran needs to run for president if he loses mayoral run. Zoran Mamdani is Ugandan. He is not a United States born person. And I don't think you can run for president if you were not born here. There's plenty of ways to participate in the DSA without being particularly active, and they have good trans support networks. Okay. Yeah. Do you have to give your address to join something like DSA? Because I'm not fucking doing it. But like to confirm that you're in the district that they're working with or something. I don't know. I have German citizenship now, and I'm a member of the Socialist Party, speaker of the state-level party's queer council. I'm gonna stay and fight. Do it! At this point, who gives a fuck? About the address thing? I'm a public figure. So I do think about those things. I'm planning to join the Portland branch of the DSA, maybe move forward in the future with starting a branch in my local area. Yeah, there's a few in the Valley. Like, there's the Portland one. I think there's a Salem-oriented one, and then Eugene might have its own as well. Oh, I forgot about the Zoran citizenship. Yeah, he was not born here. I think people are hoping for an AOC run, but I don't think she's gonna do it. I don't know how she'd get in. It's funny how the minimum age to run for president is 35, and yet I don't think most people would take someone seriously if they were 35 and running for president. It's like functionally the minimum age is like 60. Ah, yawn. I would reach out to Gamergy from Riverboat Jack's community. She knows a ton about the DSA and is a longtime member and is always open to talk to people about DSA. Nice. I just want to make friends is really what I just want to meet people. And I don't even know if I want to do it via political activism. I just don't. I'm like, ugh. I'm very much in that spot where
Comfy got a tier 1 subscription. Boom shakalaka.
Hey, thank you, Uncomfy, for the tier 1 sub. Yeah, we're having too many white names in chat today. That's crazy. But yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that donation. Which, assuming that it was only for 1 month, because I cannot actually see it right now. Treasure chest. I don't know if we'll do it, but if we get $95 more in the next 40 minutes, we will open the treasure chest and see what's inside. And since the same thing is in there as was in there last time when we did not open it, if we don't open it this time, I'm taking it out of there and we're trying something else next time. The energy, the vibe of what's presently in the box is clearly not tantalizing enough. 3-month subscription. Cool. That means it was a $12 donation from Uncomfy. Treasure chest. There you go, babes. So we only need like $88 more. I want to be socialist, but not as a singular personality trait. True, yeah. Too many white names, that's racist. Exactly. We're doing a Mayo side in my website chat, where when you get a subscription, your name turns a fun color. I made a lot of friends within the DSA, yeah. I just don't like going places. It's the constant tension. I'm like, I want to be more of a morning person, but I fucking love staying up late at night. And I want to make friends, but I love staying home all the time and not going places. Eric says, personally, I find that activism is too heated with passion to be a good environment to make friends. Things can get messy. I tend to make friends in subculture spaces with similar values instead. Yeah. So, like, I'm kind of sort of friends with one of the people at the community garden, but I don't know many of the other people who work the community garden. But that is the type of thing where I'm like, we have similar values. Let's be friends. Joined the Socialist Party last year over here. That helped me build a lot of community. Do it. All right. Too real. I want to make more friends, but I hate people. Yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Like, how much do I want to have to explain to this person? Like, any given random person, like, I'd have to explain that I'm non-binary, that, like, yes, I'm femme, but that doesn't mean that I'm not non-binary, and, like, I don't know, how many different things am I gonna have to explain to people? Or then you make friends within the trans community, but we all have trauma and are all very sensitive and, like, woke scoldy and aggressive, and it's, like, weird environment. I hate how the gay community in Minnesota is seemingly oblivious to Obergefell being revisited, or not even knowing what Obergefell is. Yeah. Is it like people in their early 20s who like don't really remember when gay marriage was made legal? Like, wasn't that in like 2008? When gay marriage legalized? No. wait, what? Why did I think it was so much longer ago? In 2015 is when Obergefell was. Oh my god, why did I think it was so long ago? And it started in 2004. I think Massachusetts being the first state to pass same-sex marriage in 2004. Fuck me. Oh my god. Like, gay marriage literally is only gonna last 10 years and then be made illegal again. That's wild. It was good while it lasted, everybody. 10 years. That's crazy. It was under Obama. Yeah, barely. Right at the end of his presidency. Well, what else is going on? Anything good going on? I had to drive around all over town yesterday, and I was like, oh, I actually kind of know where I'm going, and I don't really need to use my phone to navigate. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try some new stuff. Like, let me just try to get around town without a navigation of any kind. It was good. I think it's a good skill to try to maintain. Being able to get places, knowing generally where your shit is and where you live without, like, having to pull out your phone. Yeah, it's so hard to go fuck this shit, I'm out. You look at your bank account. It's like, yeah, can you afford a visa? Probably not. I have a not popular opinion on marriage, but I'm not going to share it right now. I mean, I know that there's all kinds of thoughts on marriage, like, why is the government subsidizing childbearing relationships and stuff? Like, yeah, like, the institutional support of monogamous marriage and the fact that it leaves out people who have alternative lifestyles and all this kind of stuff. Like, I understand some of the basic, we're just going to criticize marriage fundamentally. Like, why is it such an easy contract to make? In any other circumstances, putting together a contract where two entities basically become one financial entity and, like, all the other shit that comes along with it, like, why is it so easy to enter that contract? And then it's, like, really difficult to get out of it. Like, you can expect even a childless marriage with very few assets is probably still going to take 6 months to complete everything. Yeah, so, like, I completely understand that there are, like, some fundamental criticisms of marriage and, like, the fact that it exists, period. But if it exists for straight people, it has to exist for gay people. Like, that's just how it works. So long as we have marriage, it has to be for everybody. Also, being autistic with a chronic disability also prevents you from being able to go to certain countries. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not easy to emigrate. If you're disabled too, for sure. Why do you need the state's approval for your relationship? I mean, honestly, like, it's about the legal benefits that it provides. You know, like, I pay less in taxes because I'm married. I still pay a fucking lot in taxes as a self-employed person, which is crazy, but literally, I think next year, if I end up owing $3,000 in taxes, I might GoFundMe some of it, at least some of it. Like, it's so stupid for me to owe this much in taxes every year. I just didn't want to run another one this year after having just run a GoFundMe for moving across the country. So we just tried to use our savings on it and credit card. But yeah, so it's about, I pay less in taxes. We have power of attorney with each other. We can legally open each other's mail, and it's not like a felony. Or I don't know if it's actually a felony. I'm just making shit up. It's a crime to open someone else's mail. But need to look into getting my Mexican citizenship. Fuck yeah, dude. Like, go there. That would be, I mean, it is a great place to live. Like, I mean, it's maybe like subject to some of the same religious issues as the United States is, but they have great medicine in Mexico. I screwed up trying to say that I screwed up. Ah, that's how it works. I'm much closer to Canada. Yeah, the process for getting citizenship in Canada is like, I think you have to be a permanent resident for 3 years at least. I was looking into it for obvious reasons within the last couple years, but I don't know. I'm not sure if there is like a bad enough situation in the United States where I am like booking it to Canada. Now that I'm here in Oregon, I'm like, yeah, I want to fucking stay here. Like, I'm gonna try to make it good here. I don't feel comfortable invading Mexico with my Aryan non-Spanish speaking Mayo ass. Pull out the fucking Duolingo. Any tips to disassociate work with personal life? Having super clear boundaries between them, wearing completely different clothes between one and the other, having a perfume that you wear only when you're at work and you wash it off as soon as you get home. Just like creating lots of boundaries and associations that are specific. Like earlier, I really wanted to spray. I have some like citrus and basil room freshener that I just bought. And I bought it specifically to use in my bathroom to make shower time and washing my face in the morning and night more pleasant. And I really wanted to come in here and spray it before stream because I just was like, I want to enjoy this. And then I was like, no, I'm creating some boundaries around like, this is a specific thing I get to enjoy within this very specific context. The point of the spray is to make it so that it's easier for me to process the sensory overwhelm involved with washing my face. So yeah, basically just creating a lot of discrete boundaries. And I think that there is, for me, a boundary, even though I sit here and work here. For streams, certainly, I always stand for streams, pretty much, unless I'm real tired. But I pretty much always stand for streams and podcasts and things like that. Always stand up for those. And I set up my lights in a very specific way. And I move my stuff around over here. So I get very much into this like work mode. It may be the case that I should have more clear boundaries around working when I need to come work on a script or something. Like maybe I should turn on the colored lights when I'm working on that just to like continue creating that association. Cause I sit down here to work on something and then I get distracted and then I'm on Facebook for 20 minutes. So I just gotta have some more clear associations that keep things feeling self-contained. You know, like it was really important to me to never put my bed anywhere near my desk. Like when I moved into my own apartment for a year, I was like, nope, the bedroom has to be separate. Like on opposite sides of the apartment, it ended up being, because I'm like, there just has to have a really clear distinction. Having work clothes versus regular clothes was a huge help when I was working. Yeah, interestingly, I did start thinking like I should invest more in my style and care about how I look more because I am on screen all the time. But then it has translated to like, oh, this is just how I want to dress. So yeah, now I'm just dressing cute more often. There is something to be said. Yeah, like should you put on a hat when you work specifically? Is there something like a piece of jewelry or something when you're working? Like I don't really wear jewelry otherwise when I'm not streaming. That's a streaming choice that I make. But I might do it more outside of this context. I don't know. We'll see. We're evolving all the time. Yeah, let me just jump around in my underwear at home. Both my girlfriends will probably like it too. True. Maybe switching to analog for writing. I was not thinking I would switch to analog for scripting because I type so fast. I would rather be able to continue doing that. But I was thinking I could take my partner's laptop and just use that when I'm trying to script so I can be somewhere else, like just put it in the kitchen counter or something. Been meaning to say your hair has been looking amazing lately. Thank you. I'm trying with my hair and with my physical appearance, with my skin and stuff. I have some acne right now, but I'm going to use my retinol tonight, and hopefully that'll help it a bit. But yeah, working on skincare. I don't know if you can tell, but like this part of my face is usually really dry and scaly and like flaky, and it's doing a lot better now. And it's got that like shininess that you get when you use like moisturizer. This is like shininess from being moisturized and not shininess from being too dry, which I often have. But look at that. I'm starting to get that beautiful dewy appearance that everybody says is so desirable right now. Did I just smudge my glasses? I did. And my microfiber cloth is drying in the kitchen right now. What hair care products do you use? Okay. I am on the curly girl routine. Although right now I'm trying to address possibly like a yeast overgrowth on my scalp. So right now I'm using Selsun Blue. You remind me of Chuck Schumer with your glasses on the tip of your nose. I love my giant glasses on the tip of my nose too. Right now I'm using Selsun Blue. I have been shampooing, but I want to switch to a co-wash routine. So I'm kind of in a transition place with my hair, and I can't really say what's the best thing to do with your hair, but I will say getting a deep conditioner mask like Briogeo has been good, and using a curl cream after my showers has been good. I have been using a rice protein based curl cream, and that's pretty much it. These are my natural waves too, like the extent to which they were going to happen today. So, yay. My skincare routine, on the other hand, boy howdy, can I tell you all about that. We'll see if it continues making a difference. In your 30s, having revelations, starting to do skincare all of a sudden. I've never seen Chuck Schumer with the glasses on the face, so I gotta look. Chuck Schumer, glasses. Oh, he does wear them all the way down there. His glasses are smaller than mine, so it makes a little bit more sense. You know, his glasses are not quite as tall. I was making good progress with hair care and skincare, and then I got sick. Yeah, totally. Sometimes shit just throws you off. As an ADHD person, I will form a habit and I'll do it consistently for like 30 days, and then I suddenly can't do it anymore. So I think I just need to start embracing 30-day chunks of time. Like, okay, I'm just going to do this thing for 30 days, and then I'm going to get bored, and then I'll have to figure something else out. I keep getting infinite acne on my chin area, and it's so annoying. Try retinol. I mean, I'm using retinol now, and it is an acne product, and I'm not using it for acne. I'm just using it to generally get my skin to be nicer. Dude, me too. I started getting into skincare when I turned 30. I spend so much on Korean skincare. I'm pretty sure I just spent, like, I used my credit card. I'm pretty sure I spent like $40 on a container of sunscreen. But it feels good. Hard to argue with results. Did I show you guys this when I got it? So my partner found this in the trash at work. ADHD cleaning planner. There is not a single thing that has been ticked off or written in here. No one has used this. It was in the trash. I just want to show you, like, there are certain things about this that I think could be useful, and there are a lot of things about this that make me think that this was actually designed by someone who was deliberately trying to torture someone who has ADHD. And I'll tell you why. Okay, so here we go. This is the first page. This is a daily cleaning routine. I'm not even going to zoom in and show you what the individual things are, but like a morning routine, a midday routine, after breakfast routine, night/before bed routine. Here's a cleaning schedule, daily, weekly, monthly, and annually. I think that what it's meant to do is, like, these are meant to be many different options for different ways that you could clean something. Like cleaning checklist, for monthly, yearly cleaning schedule, room by room speed cleaning. I can see that being helpful if you're like, okay, I want to speed clean the bathroom. What is this telling me? Okay, clean and disinfect toilet bowl, wipe down toilet bowl, clean mirrors, dust, empty trash can, sweep floor, spot clean floor stains. Like, okay, but given how many things, no lie, looking at that is giving me anxiety. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I think this would be most useful if I took like a different piece of paper and was like, I could block off everything on the whole page except for like the one line that I'm looking at right now. Just have like 2 pieces of paper on, and then just like only reveal one part at a time. This seems like it was intended to torture someone. And the whole book is like this, like the whole thing. So I might look through here occasionally and be like, let me pick one of these, or like a few of these that I think would actually be useful. Or maybe I'll occasionally I'll have my sibling. I'll be like, hey, look, you see how this says like bedroom speed cleaning? Why don't you do all these things real quick? Speed clean. Oh, according to how much time it takes, speed cleaning. So if you only have 15 minutes or if you only have 30 minutes to clean. Oh, cleaning and home maintenance seasonally. Here, oh, if you do a spring deep clean or summer deep clean. Yeah, so the whole book is basically a torture device. I guess the second half of the book is just all of the same formats, but with no pre-written chores. So you can create your own nightmare situation. Planners give me anxiety in general. They don't give me anxiety in general, so I'm grateful for that. It's like the only thing I still spend money at Target for is, like, I really enjoy this planner. I might get a different one for this upcoming year, though. But I use them for stuff like what's on the... So on the list for today is check on my booch. I have a kombucha that I am in the middle of making, and I wanted to test it. I wanted to taste test it and check the pH. So I showered this morning. I have Mulan on here. I haven't worked on my Mulan script at all today, though, and I don't know if I will. And then move furniture. I moved the furniture around so that the treasure chest can be here in the background. So, sometimes planners can be useful. Are we just going to gloss over the ironic hilarity of an ADHD planner? I don't think... I mean, it says ADHD cleaning planner, but I don't even know if planner is the right word. It's more like pick one of these crazy lists and just follow it and clean stuff. I have a whiteboard calendar on my wall which still says April on it. True. Hello, HT Ilsley, who is probably new here based on the comment, says, I've never met or watched someone who uses its pronouns. I would worry other people were thinking I was being rude about you when I referred to you. Do you get much pushback on it generally? I don't get a ton of pushback about it, but that's partially because I have cultivated a specific environment for myself online. I don't want to deal with annoying people, so I don't deal with annoying people. But, so that is one of the things I get is some people say I'm uncomfortable personally using it because it is dehumanizing and I don't like that. Some people say, yeah, I'm worried about it seeming like I'm being transphobic. I feel like you can just explain, like, oh, this person uses its pronouns, and then just continue on. And if then you get pushback on it, you can be like, listen, I'm just telling you what I was told. I'm using the pronouns that they asked for. Whatever. Like, you can explain, like, this person has stated that this is their preference. But yeah, it's confronting, I think. I think it is like, to say you use its pronouns is a little bit like getting in your face a little bit. Like, we are aware that it is sort of counterculture and it's reclaiming a very stigmatized form of language. So that's why many people who use its pronouns also use a secondary set of pronouns. Like, I say my pronouns are it/they. In my real life, like, I don't ask my partner to use its pronouns for me. I just use they, them. And I mean, like, I think he's keeping me in the closet at his workplace. So when he's at work, he's talking to me. He's like, oh, my wife, she, whatever. Like, I don't even know if he does she, her, me at work, but I know he calls me his wife at work. Instead of, like, typically he'll use partner or spouse. So yeah, I mean, people have very different opinions about it. And usually, even when I was exclusively using its pronouns for a bit. You can tell down here in the corner, it says it doesn't say it/they because I haven't had this art corrected. But even then, I'm like, listen, I really would prefer that you respect my pronouns and understand that it's even more dehumanizing to strip me of my pronouns than it is to call me by pronouns that you think are dehumanizing. And it can be transphobic to say, I'm not going to use that pronoun because I've personally decided that it's not appropriate. But that if it really upsets people badly, that they can use they, them, and I won't get mad. So that's always been the case. Even when I was saying my pronouns are its, I wasn't saying you are invited to use they pronouns, but I was like, if you really, really can't handle it, you can use they pronouns, and I'm not going to be mad. So I personally am flexible. Some other people may be less flexible about it. And I hope that people can try to hear me out about what my preferred pronouns are and at least consider what I think and try to honor that before just deciding not to or giving up on it. You know, I'm like, at least hear me out about it. Prefer its and fair, but end up using she, her for my day-to-day because it's simple. Totally, yeah, it's simple and it's relatively inoffensive. Doesn't bother too much. Yeah, so most trans people who use weird pronouns are okay with less weird pronouns in certain situations. I use they, them, and people really struggle with it. Yeah, totally. I get it. I know I've had similar things where, like, people just are having a hard time grasping it, and it seems pretty easy, but it's not easy for some people, I guess. Cheers. Hail Hydrate. I have a small magnetized dry erase board on my fridge with a few reminders and short checklists permanently etched into the surface. They're mostly several years old and I don't remember why I wrote them. Well, just take it off the wall then. Like, take it off the fridge. Like, if it's not serving you, just take it off the fridge. Genuine question, why do some people prefer its? From my perspective, it generally refers to non-human concepts, so it's always confused me a bit. Well, some people like it. It's specifically because it refers to non-human concepts. Like, you know, it can refer to like a kitten, like a cute little kitten, or it can refer to like a storm, or it can refer to a dragon. So I think that some people appreciate that it is evocative of different concepts. I I really see it's as just like, I do see it a little bit as embracing the otherness, because when you're, I mean, as a non-binary person, like, it's really, really difficult to achieve societal acceptance in a way that binary trans people can, if they pass well enough, gain most of the types of societal acceptance. I'm not saying it's easy for anybody. I'm just saying, like, comparatively speaking, non-binary people have no social role that we can go hide in. So, I mean, unless we just are not, you know, are not out or whatever. But trans women can exist as women in society. Non-binary people can't just exist as non-binary in society in the same way. So I view its pronouns as kind of evocative of that othering. And as an ADHD autistic person, like, I often feel a little bit like an alien, and sometimes people even treat me a little bit like an alien because I socialize differently than they do. So and then, like, ultimately for me, I feel it's just has a really strong association with like a rejection of gender as a premise, whereas like they them pronouns do kind of still feel like they are fitting in with the gendered premise, and the like they is a third gender idea that we now have in the zeitgeist that I do not feel applies to me. So those are the kind of main reasons why I prefer its pronouns. I don't care about any noun self pronouns. Like, there are people who are like, use my pronouns tree and tree self. I don't really vibe with those. Yeah. I mean, if you consider that my new public target name is Moss, like, we still use Luxander on this channel because it's like my brand, but like Moss, Luxander. So if you're like think of Moss or think of a dragon and recognize that, like, that is the feeling that I have, is like it's a less human concept, I guess, but specifically like a non-gendered concept. And like, also, if you guys don't think about this, like, gender is very tied to humanity. Like, gender is very tied to humans. So that it's like, in a way, rejecting gender on its face is rejecting humanity to an extent, because people don't have an ability to perceive their humanity through a different lens. I'm gonna ask my cat. She just jumped on my bed. No response. If English is strongly influenced by Germanic and Romance languages, why did we skip inherently gendering our words? I think because language has a tendency to streamline itself. And like, gendering nouns is just additional words and clunkiness. So it may just be somewhere in the evolution there, it just dropped that because there's so much else going on in English that having that on top of everything else might have just been naturally a little bit too complicated. No, my cat caught a scorpion last night. Okay, she did not get stung. Well, that's good. What a little menace, though, catching scorpions. Agnes says, we could get into different languages, like with German, where every noun has a grammatical gender. So a knife is an it, a spoon is a he, and a fork is a she, for example. But also a girl is an it in German, and boys are he. Make of that what you will. Wow, I did not know that. Later, gay asparagus. Yeah, we're going to be closing up here in like 10 minutes. We'll keep going for another few. French just kept streamlining the pronunciation, never made the gender stuff easier. Totally. I mean, different ones go different directions. like different languages streamline in different areas. I would be really interested. I guess I mean, you'd really have to look at Old English and be like, okay, Old English, it's like directly related to Old Norse, or it's like similar enough that someone who spoke Old Norse could converse with someone with some translation and hand gestures, could communicate with someone who spoke Old English. So it may be like, does Old Norse gender nouns? Because that might be where the feedback comes in. Okay, Old English had gendered words, but eventually dropped them. Oh, wow, interesting. Yeah, English is so stupid. I don't like this language at all. I'm sitting here trying to practice my Spanish. Quiero practicar mi español. Tengo una falda. It's like a tiny bit of Spanish that I have. Question for Simon Roper and Jackson Crawford. True heroes. Mabs, did you see the video of Simon Roper and Jackson Crawford where they pretended to be a person from Old Norse language and a person from Old English language? They specifically chose a time frame of what language and pronunciation they would each have. And they had a conversation as though they were meeting on the mountainside. It was so good. Heavily enjoy. That was a really good accent. Thank you. I try. Polish is even weirder. Grammatical gender in Polish is by adjectives and endings. Thus, non-binary can be gendered male or female. Slavic languages are weird like that. Wasn't there a post... Yeah, this is the meme. English to Spanish translation. Non-binary in English. No binaria feminine. No binario masculine. That's crazy. My girlfriend and I are a cishet couple and like to use the term partner to throw off the bigots. Thank you. That's allyship. Because listen, if only queer people are the ones using the term partner, then saying partner is outing ourselves. So when cishet people say partner, you normalize it in a way that makes it so we are not outing ourselves every time we say partner. I did not see that video. Okay, let me see if it's still up. Yes. Okay, so if you go to Google and you type in Jackson Crawford conversation, this is the video that pops up for me 4 years ago. A conversation in Old English and Old Norse. They each went and stood outside when they recorded the video and then like spliced it together. Yeah, they start by explaining it. Hold on, wait. Do they actually... Or do they show them talking outside and then... Yeah. So they show them talking outside, and then they cut away to their Zoom conversation where they explain it. Where they explain what was said. Anyway. Great video. I am a fucking huge nerd. I am just realizing how big of a reveal that was. Uh-oh. It's hard for me to refer to my non-binary friend to my mom in Spanish because I don't know what the non-gendered word would be. What I am understanding people are typically doing is they're using E instead of A or O at the end. So, like, if I were to be talking about, like, my spouse who is non-binary, you have, like, esposo for husband, esposa for wife, or, like, espose for spouse, like a non-binary spouse. I haven't really done much actual conversation in Spanish because I feel like it's really awkward. Like, what? Am I gonna go to the farmer's market and, like, I'm checking out and I can tell that the person is brown, or maybe I heard them speaking Spanish a minute ago? Do I just say, like... Is it okay if I practice my Spanish with you right now? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I just have to be someday like spontaneously able to just use Spanish and get over the fact that it's awkward that I'm white and using Spanish. Like, I feel like I have to be fluent before I can try to talk to people. It feels embarrassing. And also I feel like I'm imposing. I feel like I'm imposing on a person of color if I'm like, hey, do you mind if I try to use your language in this conversation right now? But I think that immersion is the only way. Immersion and practice are the only ways to really learn it. And I really want to fucking learn Spanish. I remember the first time I said partner in front of an older friend, he questioned what I meant. Granted, this person did also assume my sexual orientation incorrectly upon first meeting. Fair enough. I love when people ask if they can practice with me. Okay. They won't mind. If you know that they speak Spanish, they won't mind if you ask them to practice with them as long as you're talking to them. Well, I also feel it's like a multiple things. It's the imposition on a person of color culturally in an area where I really want to be sensitive to the fact that they probably feel scared in the world right now. And also it's a customer service thing where I'm like, am I taking up too much of this person's time if I speak to them in broken-ass Spanish while there's a line of people behind me? Because, baby, the farmer's market is fucking bumping. I guess I need to get there earlier in the morning. I'll try to get there earlier this Saturday if I can. But, yeah, I was there at, like, 11 o'clock this past time, and it was busy. Busy. There are white native Spanish speakers, but, yeah, the vibe generally is that there isn't. Anna Taylor-Joy. Yeah, I remember. She just slips easily into Spanish because it's her first language, I guess. I didn't actually know that about her. I always offer to help when people tell me they want to practice Spanish. Very generous of you. Most Argentinians and Uruguayans are white. How do you say that? Uruguayans are white. Works like that in Polish as well. Meanwhile, me having hour-long conversations about tonal scales and music history, i.e. how every popular genre is based on black music. Yes, also electronic music. I mean, yeah, right? Like, didn't black people invent rock and roll and that has, like, fundamentally changed music for the last 60 years or whatever? Crazy. So yeah, I guess maybe I'm gonna start imposing my broken-ass Spanish on some people at the farmer's market. Like, quiero practicar mi español, ¿está bien? And then I have to try not to let my French accent go in. Like, I don't know if y'all heard it, but I did say bien and not bien. It was French came out. I took fucking too much French. Ah! We're good. Everything's fine. We did manage to get to 56 likes today. Thank you for the one donation from Uncomfy. Metal originated from blues, which came from African-American culture. Yeah, for sure. I would say I'm a light-skinned Mexican. Both my parents were born in Mexico, but you know, Spaniard colonization. True. Yeah. Wear a Fuck Ice t-shirt and you'll be good. Specifically, oh, you know what? What if I carry, hold on. I actually have... What if I just, like, stick this on my hat? Do you think that the people at the farmer's market will appreciate my broken Spanish more if I have a sticker on my hat that says Chinga la Mira? Oh my god. I think they would get it. I'm not actually going to put a sticker on my hat, but just carry a water bottle with me so that I can, just carrying my water bottle. Anyway. I don't even know what that means. Oh, this? See, this is how I know you didn't grow up with Mexicans in your school. Because I know what chinga means. I've been knowing what chinga means since I was a little person. Chinga la migra. It means fuck ice. Like la migra, as in like migra having like migratory as its base. So like they're the immigration enforcement. And then chinga means fuck in a verb sense. So like I grew up hearing people be like, chinga tu madre. Like, yeah, fuck your mom, all that. On that note, I'm going to leave now. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know it was a short stream, but I appreciate everybody. And I am planning on doing a normal full-length stream on Sunday. And yeah, let's have a good end of the week. Enjoy each other's company. Touch grass if you can. Be good to yourself. Above all, be good to yourself. Give yourself a break if you need it. Yep. That's always the first phrase that gets taught to non-Spanish speakers, like chinga tu madre. Yeah, and puta. You gotta learn how to call people a bitch. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.